Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into a topic that, well, it feels like it's reshaping almost every industry around us, generative AI. But instead of just talking about it generally, we're going to focus on something specific, its potential impact on retail real estate.
And we have a fantastic source guiding our deep dive today. It's a recent strategic report prepared specifically for a company called Abernathy Development Company. It really lays out a clear picture of how generative AI can make a tangible, high-impact difference in their retail real estate operations.
So consider this our mission, to cut through the hype, understand what generative AI really is, see how it's starting to play out in the commercial real estate world, and then zero in on the specific opportunities this report identifies for a firm like Abernathy. This deep dive is for you, designed to quickly equip you with the key insights from this complex, but frankly, crucial document. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's jump right in.
All right, so generative AI. The report defines it pretty simply. Machine learning models capable of producing original content that seems key. We're talking new text, images, designs, not just analyzing data that already exists.
Right. What really sets it apart from, say, traditional AI is this creative capability. Traditional AI is great at recognizing patterns or making predictions based on existing data. Generative AI, well, it creates something new. It can automate tasks that historically required human creativity or language skills or even design input.
And the report makes a really interesting point. Thanks to recent advances, models like GPT-4, they've dramatically lowered the barriers to entry. The cost and the technical skill needed to start experimenting and deploying this tech have dropped significantly. It's no longer just the domain of massive tech companies. Mid-sized firms can now seriously engage with it.
Exactly. And that's why we're seeing significant momentum building even in the commercial real estate sector, which, let's be honest, has sometimes been maybe a bit deliberate about adopting new technology. The report highlights that CRE is really on the cusp of a major AI-driven transformation. The potential value analysts' estimate is pretty staggering.
How staggering are we talking?
Something like $110 to $180 billion in annual value added across the entire industry.
$180 billion
Mhm.
annually. Wow. Okay, that number alone signals this isn't just a passing fad.
Yeah.
So if that's the potential, who's already making moves in this space? The report points to some of the global leaders leading the way.
Right. Firms like JLL and CBRE, they're already actively piloting AI initiatives. And what's fascinating is that they're already seeing real measurable results from these early efforts. It's not just theoretical.
Tell us about some of those results mentioned in the report. What are they actually doing?
Well, JLL, for example, developed something called JLL GPT. It's essentially a secure internal platform trained on their own CRE data. It allows their employees to quickly ask questions and get analysis on portfolios or specific properties. Initial uses include things like conversational analysis of space utilization or maybe generating rapid workplace planning advice. Think of it as giving their teams instant access to institutional knowledge.
Okay, so internal efficiency, knowledge sharing.
Yes, but also external facing. Their venture arm invested in a company called Elise AI. It provides an AI chatbot specifically for automating communications with prospective tenants. Answering questions, scheduling tours. That's incredibly relevant for retail leasing, where quick, accurate responses really matter.
A chatbot designed to lease space faster. Yeah, that connects directly to the bottom line. What about CBRE?
CDRE took a slightly different approach initially. They built an internal AI playground to encourage safe experimentation, but they've moved beyond play. The report notes they've used AI to reduce manual lease processing time by a 25% reduction. That's significant. And they've cut false maintenance alarms by a huge 65%.
Wow.
On the capital market side, they launched Capital AI for retail properties. It helps analyze data to expand the pool of potential investors for deals by up to 20%. So these are not trivial efficiency gains or, market expansions we're talking about.
Those are really concrete impacts.
Yeah.
Beyond those specific examples, do the report mention broader trends emerging across the sector?
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing firms automate the creation of property listing descriptions or marketing brochures, personalizing them instantly. Chatbots are becoming much more sophisticated for both tenant and customer service. AI is being used to ingest and quickly analyze complex lease documents, which is a huge time saver. And in development, generative tools can help visualize site plans or run multiple scenario simulations really rapidly.
So there's clear competitive movement. But the report emphasizes that this is still very much early innings. Is that right? Most firms haven't deployed AI broadly yet.
Exactly. And that's the key opportunity for a firm like Abernathy Development Company. Adopting and implementing generative AI strategically now, even starting with pilots, allows them to potentially leapfrog competitors who are maybe slower or less focused. It's a chance to gain a real competitive edge and signal innovation in the market.
Which naturally leads us to the question, why is this moment the right time for Abernathy Development Company specifically? The report connects it directly to their foundation, right, their history.
Exactly. Abernathy has built this 40-year legacy on deep relationships and acquiring prime locations. The report doesn't see AI replacing that at all. It sees it as a powerful tool to augment and enhance those core strengths using technology.
And the broader industry signals seem to support this urgency. The report cites a 2024 Deloitte survey. What did that find?
It showed 72% of real estate owners and investors are actively committing resources to AI solutions, so the market is definitely moving.
72%. Okay.
But crucially, many are still grappling with older legacy systems and haven't fully embraced the potential of generative AI yet. This creates a window, for Abernathy to be a regional innovator and leader.
And here's where it gets really compelling for me. The report highlights the human element. It argues that AI won't reduce the need for human expertise. It will actually free up the Abernathy team from routine tasks.
Precisely. This allows their talented team to focus their time and energy on what they do best: building and nurturing relationships, executing strategic leasing deals, applying their creativity to complex transactions. AI handles the data crunching and the repetitive communication, and the people focus on the high-value, relationship-driven work that is Abernathy's historical strength.
Okay, let's get concrete then. The report zeroes in on 5 specific high-impact use cases tailored to Abernathy Development Company's operations. This is where the rubber meets the road, translating the potential into actionable steps.
Yeah, these cover the key areas of their business. Everything from finding new sites and signing leases to managing properties, engaging tenants, marketing, and informing strategy.
Let's start with the first one, AI-enhanced leasing and site selection. What kind of transformation does this offer?
Well, think about dramatically speeding up the process of getting deals done and finding the best opportunities. Manually drafting and analyzing leases takes time and effort, right? Which can slow down deal cycles. Similarly, researching potential new sites is laborious. It limits how many opportunities you can realistically evaluate, potentially leading to missed chances.
So how does AI help here specifically? What does the report suggest?
It proposes AI assistance for both tasks. A lease drafting analysis assistant could, say, generate initial drafts of leases or LOIs, letters of intent, pulling in standard clauses and deal terms. It could also quickly summarize comments on a lease draft or flag potential risks. For site selection, an AI tool could rapidly analyze various data sources like GIS, Geographic Information System data, and census data for demographics, to generate quick market overviews, demographic summaries, and even suggest suitable retail categories for location.
Okay, so instead of weeks poring over documents and data, you get synthesized insights fast. What are the core benefits the report points to here?
The primary benefit is speed and reach. You could accelerate leasing transactions, potentially reducing the time it takes to get a lease signed by around 25%, similar to what CBRE has seen. That means getting rent sooner, reducing vacancy periods. That's direct impact. For site selection, being able to rapidly evaluate potentially double the number of market sites means a higher probability of finding the absolute best location, which directly impacts future revenue and NOI net operating income. You also get better consistency and risk reduction in lease documents. And maybe most importantly, it frees up the team to focus on negotiating and building relationships, not typing clauses or crunching raw data.
Makes sense. Moving to use case number 2, the tenant engagement virtual assistant. What challenge does this solve?
This addresses the constant demand on property managers and leasing agents. As the portfolio grows, the volume of repetitive tenant questions about hours, maintenance requests, policies, it just increases. And that often requires 20/47 availability, which is tough. Delayed responses frustrate tenants, and manually sending out updates to the entire portfolio is really time-consuming.
So this involves a chatbot for tenants. Is that the idea?
Exactly. A tenant engagement chatbot available through a web portal or an app trained on Abernathy's specific property handbooks, FAQs, relevant lease information. It can instantly answer routine questions in natural language, 247. It can also guide tenants through submitting maintenance requests and maybe even auto-generate work tickets. Plus, generative AI can assist property managers by drafting personalized newsletters or announcements based on just simple bullet points they provide.
Instant answers sound like a major boost to service. What are the key benefits the report highlights here?
Well, the biggest win is improved tenant satisfaction and, crucially, retention. Tenants get support and instant answers anytime, which research, like from Deloitte, indicates is really important. I think the report mentioned tenants expect something like 70–80% of questions answered immediately.
That high. Wow.
Yeah. So higher satisfaction directly contributes to tenant retention, which is vital for preserving revenue and avoiding costly releasing efforts. The report estimates it could reduce human Q&A volume by maybe 30–40%. That allows staff, like the example Gail mentioned in the report, to shift their focus from reactive Q&A to proactive engagement and addressing more complex tenant needs. It's a way to provide scalable, high-quality service without needing to add headcount linearly as the portfolio grows.
Okay, use case number 3, intelligent property management and maintenance automation. This feels like bringing order to complexity. What's the core issue here?
Property management involves a huge volume of disparate data, right? Inspection reports, maintenance logs, energy consumption, sensor data if you have it. It's hard for humans to spot subtle patterns, forecast needs accurately, or move from reactive maintenance fixing things when they break to proactive maintenance. And compiling detailed monthly reports for owners or investors from all this data is also a significant manual task.
And the solution involves an AI-powered dashboard.
Precisely. An AI property management dashboard that integrates these various data sources. The generative AI component acts like a smart analyst. It can summarize maintenance activity across properties, highlight anomalies or unusual trends, and automatically generate plain language executive summaries for those monthly reports. That alone saves a lot of time. While predictive maintenance often uses other types of AI, the report suggests generative AI could provide explanations or summaries of potential upcoming issues identified by sensors or maintenance history. Make it understandable. There's even the idea of a voice-activated AI assistant for maintenance technicians on site to maybe auto-generate work orders or suggest common fixes.
The benefits here seem heavily weighted towards operational efficiency and cost savings.
Definitely. Automating report generation alone can save hours per property each month. More strategically, using AI to identify patterns allows for more proactive maintenance addressing issues before they become expensive breakdowns. The report estimates this could lead to 10–15% lower annual maintenance costs. It also helps spot energy inefficiencies or safety concerns. Having AI curate the data ensures consistency and accuracy in reporting, which is important for investors. The report uses CBRE managing 1 billion square feet with AI as an example of how AI really scales oversight effectively. And again, this frees property managers to focus on vendor relationships and more strategic oversight projects.
Okay, use case number 4, automated marketing and content creation. This feels like a perfect fit for generative AI's core capability creation. What's the current challenge it addresses?
Creating high-quality, customized marketing materials for every available space or development is, well, it's time-consuming. It often requires significant manual effort or costly outsourcing. And generating fresh, engaging content for potential tenants or even consumers visiting a shopping center can also be a real bottleneck.
And the AI solution leverages its ability to write and design.
That's right. Generative AI can create compelling property listing descriptions and brochures by pulling in key data points like location features, size, traffic counts, anchor tenants. It can even generate variant descriptions emphasizing different selling points for different types of prospective tenants, tailoring the message. For visuals, image-generating AI could produce concept art or virtual staging for vacant spaces, really helping prospects visualize the potential. And AI can draft social media posts, press releases, or website copy based on input from the marketing team. The human role shifts, from creator to curator and editor.
The benefits must include speed and personalization, I imagine.
Absolutely. Dramatically faster content production. A task that might have taken a week could potentially be done in a day. This speed means you can respond to market opportunities much faster. And as others, like McKinsey, have highlighted, generative AI enables hyper-personalization in marketing. Abernathy could craft highly relevant pitches for specific tenants. This can lead to shorter lease-up periods, getting spaces filled, and generating rent sooner, and potentially commanding higher rents by better articulating a property's unique value. It also reduces reliance on costly outsourcing and positions Abernathy as a forward-thinking, responsive partner. That's a real competitive differentiator.
Finally, use case number 5, investment analysis and decision support. This sounds critical for growth and risk management. What's the specific challenge here?
Analyzing potential acquisitions or development opportunities is incredibly data-intensive. Due diligence requires synthesizing massive amounts of market data, financial projections, legal documents. It can take weeks or even months. Responding to investor inquiries or drafting detailed reports manually is also really time-consuming. And in fast-moving markets, delays in analysis can mean missing out on valuable deals. Time is money, right?
Absolutely. So the report proposes an AI co-analyst. What does that look like?
Yeah, envision a secure internal AI system. It's loaded with all of Abernathy's proprietary data market research, historical performance, financial models, everything. Team members could ask complex analytical questions in plain English, like summarize the key risks and upsides for the Kennesaw development project. And the AI would quickly pull relevant information from all sources and generate a concise report. It could also model different financial scenarios instantly, like the impact of a sudden interest rate increase on project ROI. And it can draft tailored updates or responses for investors. Crucially, though, this use case always emphasizes having a human expert review and validate the AI's outputs before making any final decisions. Human in the loop is key here.
That human oversight seems vital. The benefits here seem to touch on strategic agility and the bottom line directly.
They absolutely do. It enables better and faster decision-making. Due diligence analysis that might have taken weeks can be condensed dramatically, maybe minutes with verification, allowing Abernathy to act decisively on opportunities. Running multiple scenarios helps optimize deal structures and manage risk proactively. This leads to potentially improved project returns and, importantly, avoiding costly mistakes. It enhances investor relations through timely, high-quality communication. The AI co-analyst scales the firm's analytical capacity without needing a linear increase in headcount and reduces reliance on any single person's knowledge, which mitigates key person risk. It really empowers strategic leaders with data-driven insights, helping them see around corners in the market, so to speak.
Okay, those are 5 specific, really high-impact use cases identified in the report. But the report also looks at how implementing these collectively impacts the business as a whole, right? The bigger picture.
Yeah. Right. It's not just about individual task automation. These use cases combine to drive enterprise-wide transformation across several critical areas. Firstly, there's significant impact on operational efficiency and cost reduction, saving hours on document prep, data analysis, customer service, leading directly to lower operating costs and improved net operating income.
Okay, efficiency.
Okay.
Then there's revenue growth and asset value enhancement.
Exactly. Faster leasing means spaces are generating rent sooner. Higher occupancy and tenant retention boosts revenue. Attracting quality tenants enhances property value. It all leads to higher ROI.
And improved tenant satisfaction seems like a recurring theme.
Definitely. Improved tenant and client satisfaction, providing instant support, proactive communication, better service. It strengthens relationships, brand loyalty, and ultimately tenant retention.
Plus, competitive differentiation, positioning Abernathy as an innovator with a tech-enabled edge, allows them to scale activity more efficiently than peers and potentially outperform in the market.
And it significantly enhances decision-making, providing data-driven, timely insights, gives greater confidence in strategic choices, and helps avoid costly missteps.
And finally, the report mentions risk reduction and compliance. How does AI help there?
It can help catch issues early, like problematic lease clauses flagged during analysis or potential maintenance needs identified from data patterns. It could potentially aid in continuous compliance monitoring, too, building overall resilience.
So these benefits really compound, don't they? Better efficiency frees up time for relationships, leading to better tenant satisfaction, which improves retention and boosts revenue.
Exactly. AI acts as an accelerant across the board when implemented strategically.
Okay, we've explored the opportunity, the specific use cases, the potential impact. So what does the report say about the practical steps? How does a firm like Abernathy actually get there? It frames implementation as a strategic transformation, not just an IT project, which seems important.
That's a crucial point. It's not just about plugging in tech. The report outlines a phased roadmap. The first step is prioritizing high-impact use cases and looking for quick wins. Focus on just a few use cases that offer the most immediate value and are technically feasible to pilot. The report specifically recommends starting with, say, automated marketing content and the tenant engagement chatbot as strong pilot candidates. You need to define success metrics upfront and ensure business leaders are deeply involved from day one.
And in parallel with picking those pilots, you need to think about data readiness and governance.
Yes, absolutely critical. You have to assess your data landscape and prepare it for AI. For the pilots, this means compiling relevant property info for marketing content, centralizing FAQs, and lease abstract data for the chatbot. You need to address data gaps and quality issues early. This often requires some upfront work. Establishing robust data privacy and security protocols is essential, often involving using private or fine-tuned models for sensitive information. The report highlights the role of a partner like OMA here in data engineering and connecting systems. Investing in this data foundation pays dividends for all future AI efforts.
Okay, data ready. Step 3 is developing pilot solutions and iterating.
Right. This is where you actually configure and train the AI models using Abernathy's specific data and context. The firm that prepared the report, our management advisors OMA, can assist with tailoring these solutions. Then you test them internally, gather feedback, and review the proofs of concept, the POCs, against those initial success metrics you defined. Continuous adjustment based on real-world testing is key to building effective tools and, importantly, internal confidence.
After successful pilots, you move to phase rollout and scale up.
Exactly. You use a staged approach. Phase 1 rolls out the successful pilots more broadly across the firm. Phase 2 introduces the next set of priority use cases, leveraging lessons learned from Phase 1. Phase 3 is about deeper integration and optimization, truly weaving AI into daily workflows, making it part of how people work. At this later stage, the report suggests considering moving to a private LLM that's a large language model if needed, maybe to consolidate functions or handle highly sensitive data entirely in-house. This needs to be managed as a firm-wide program, not just isolated tech deployments.
And throughout all of this, the report stresses the non-negotiable importance of change management and talent development. You mentioned people earlier.
Absolutely critical. This isn't just about implementing technology, it's about preparing people. Strong executive sponsorship is vital to frame AI as a tool that enhances service and roles rather than replacing people. That message has to come from the top. You need to provide training and upskilling opportunities, perhaps creating internal AI champions and teaching skills like prompt engineering. Establish clear, human-in-the-loop processes where AI outputs are reviewed by human experts, especially for critical decisions. Build channels for continuous feedback to improve the systems over time. And crucially, establish ethics and compliance oversight from the beginning. OMA, the report notes, can provide significant assistance with this human and process side of the transformation, which is often the hardest part.
The report positions OMA, our management advisors, as a partner in this transformation journey. What specific areas does it highlight for OMA's assistance?
OMA is highlighted as the firm that can bridge the strategic vision with the practical execution. They bring both the CRE knowledge and the tech expertise. They can assist with the actual AI agent development, building the tailored models and integrating them. They are key in the data engineering and integration work, preparing data, connecting systems securely. Their expertise goes beyond generative AI too, assisting with broader asset management automation efforts like integrating IoT sensors or robotic process automation RPA. They can also help build investor engagement and reporting solutions, automating reports, maybe creating interactive portals. And as we just discussed, they are central to the change management and training efforts. The emphasis is on working collaboratively, co-creating solutions tailored specifically to Abernathy's needs and culture.
So to bring it all together, the core message from this report seems crystal clear. Generative AI represents a significant, timely opportunity for a firm like Abernathy.
It really is. It's a strategic lever to elevate operations, unlock new levels of growth and efficiency, drive innovation, and enhance service quality. All while building directly on Abernathy's existing strength, their deep relationships and expertise in finding and developing prime locations. It's about augmentation, not replacement.
And the path forward is laid out. Identify and prioritize high-impact use cases, build momentum with practical pilots and quick wins, and follow a structured, phased roadmap with a strong focus on data and people.
Exactly. And the report proposes concrete next steps to get moving quickly. An executive AI strategy session to discuss these findings and align on priorities. Launching pilot projects for the chosen use cases within the next, say, 1 to 2 months. Conducting an AI readiness audit in parallel to understand the data and system landscape, developing an internal communications and training plan to get everyone on board, and establishing a governance and monitoring structure, perhaps a steering committee to oversee the process and keep it on track.
That framework allows the firm to move decisively from planning to action, potentially seeing tangible benefits and building momentum within just a few months.
It really positions Abernathy Development Company to not just keep pace, but potentially set the pace in their market.
So here's a final thought for you to consider, building on everything we've discussed today. If generative AI successfully automates many of the routine, data-heavy tasks in retail real estate, freeing up the team to focus more intensely on relationships, negotiation, complex problem-solving, strategic deal-making, How does that fundamentally redefine what high-quality service even means in this industry? What new opportunities for human expertise and value creation emerge when the machine handles the mundane?
That's a fascinating question for the future, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, that's it for this deep dive into the strategic report on generative AI for Abernathy Development Company. We've pulled out the core insights and the proposed path forward.
We hope this has provided a clear and compelling picture of the opportunity ahead, not just for Abernathy, but for the industry more broadly.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We encourage you to reflect on these possibilities as you look at the ever-evolving intersection of technology and retail real estate.